Okay, we are recording.
Awesome.
See you, Gareth. Been a while.
It has. How you doing, man?
All right. Getting by and trying to do all the work and survive the COVID and stuff like that. Doing a little bit of martial arts training.
Yeah. How is like restrictions where you are?
It's actually easing up now. There was a series of cases in this area and was a little bit stricter for a while, but now it's returning back to normal. And I think Finland is statistically like the 9th best country to live in the pandemic. So we're doing.
Yeah. It's it's pretty free here, to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking, it's been more than a year now that we had the last gig. Was it something like March 2020?
Yeah, that was a short German tour, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. The Gates of Slumber brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I've touched a set of drumsticks since that.
Yeah, I played a bit of guitar to be honest.
I've played more guitar, but not drums.
It's not as easy with the drums, I guess.
No, and also it just hasn't seemed like there was a reason. You know, there's like no tours on the horizon, nothing. So it's pretty frustrating.
Working with the new stuff anyway, so maybe a bit of demo drumming is in order soon.
Yeah. Oh, it's like riding a bike, you know.
Get back on the saddle.
Yeah, exactly.
Ride the snake.
Oh, yeah, right, all the way to Valhalla. That's the way.
Right. Oh, so the reason why we are doing this, I guess, is the up and coming release of the vinyl version of the Black Podwer album, which we recorded. I had to check this. We recorded in February to March in 2019.
Yeah, man. Over 2 years.
Yeah, and I guess the CD came out around May 2019. So it's and the vinyl from Svart Records is about to come in May 2021. So it's 2-year delay with the vinyl, unfortunately.
Yeah. Is that May 7th, I believe? Is that right?
I think so, yeah. Actually, I didn't check.
Yeah.
Who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. Who's counting? I think we've given up on that now.
It's a bloody miracle to get it out.
Yeah. But so I guess in anticipation of that, we thought we'd talk through it for the fans so that they can get some insights into the creative process and all of that stuff. So
what do you think? Should we first talk about recording this a little bit before we go to the actual songs? Maybe some recollections from Joona Lukala's studio.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it well now because obviously we've used that place twice, and it's a great place. Like it's this huge cavern. Massive in size and really good for getting great ambient sounds, because there's so much space in there. So I love using it.
Especially for the drum sound, I think the big hall gives the kind of natural reverb. I think that you don't otherwise get.
Yeah, I mean, my memory is actually the sound that went down as recorded was really not altered to any great degree in the mix, to be honest. So you're hearing a pretty accurate representation of what was there. And I think the same is pretty true for the guitars as well, really.
Yeah, I think, what we did, we basically played along the drums, which is good for the organic sound, and then made a few tweaks to the rhythm tracks. Obviously, I did a second take for the stereo guitar sound and played the solos at home, and then we reamped them for the studio. So we also blasted them out in that big hall.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I remember is we worked pretty fast because there wasn't really, let's say, a huge amount of time, so we had to get things down in 1 or 2 takes, maybe 3 if things weren't quite clicking, but it all happened quite quickly, I remember, and
Yeah,
relatively painlessly.
I guess the good thing is that we took our time arranging this. We practiced in Basel at your setup and or the practice room, and it really helped in terms of like getting everything in place. We really knew what to do in studio.
Yeah, because actually that's different, isn't it, really, than any of the previous albums. I think we did a lot more pre-production in this one than any previous one, because in the past it tended to be more the old swapping the demos through emails and things like that, which I'm thinking we may have to revert to for the next one. But
yeah, I mean, if we do it like we plan to do, a little bit more massive one, a longer album, so we will have a lot of stuff to be we have to get organized, but also it might be good to do it face to face at some point. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but let's see.
I'd like to. I mean, actually, that's a question then. So have you had any inoculation yet, like for the COVID?
What do you mean?
Oh, like, sorry, the injection,
we are still waiting. In my age group should be next, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, it's like I expect to be getting the first dose by the summertime.
Yeah. I have not had it myself, but I couldn't really say a time, but I imagine it will be sometime in the summer.
Yeah, but we are not in a hurry, I guess. We have a lot of songwriting to do before we are in that stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting back to the recording process, one thing that I did, I played the solos at home, but then we reamped them. I mentioned that, but what's really nice about that is that you can actually tweak the pedals when you run it through the from the to the amps, and then you can kind of adjust the knobs a little bit and get these little details, kind of live organic thing going there, which is not possible otherwise. Yeah. Unless you have another guy setting up your pedal board or something. I really like that, because then you can kind of get everything played as you like, and then you can actually make the tweaks from actual pedals. Yeah. Obviously, you can then even go to the kind of digital rack of the studio, but that's always a little bit different than having an actual 1970s phaser in your hand, Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but I'm really happy about the Black Podwer as an album. I think it's by now it's our creative peak, I think, in terms of sound production, and there are really, really good songs there. And I think it is quite a strong piece all the way through. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think there's anything I could point at there where I'd say, oh, that track wasn't quite right, or I mean, it's no fillers. Yeah, exactly. I think I answered this question, for a kind of written interview recently, and I guess it does change from day to day. You can listen to it some days, and depending on the mood you're in, you might be more paying attention to details and be like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't the best bit, but most of the time, actually, I'm like, actually, as a whole, it works great. So, for me, it's like there are two versions of really kind of satisfied listening experience for me. Other one is to blast it through headphones, and the other one, which remains to be heard. Of course, there's studio monitors, which is always great, but I really look forward getting the vinyl out and then blasting that out as like rooms of that, like everything on 11. So yeah, that's a nice litmus test for it. It is. I don't have that luxury. I find it hard to find time to listen like that, and also my turntable is in the basement in storage. Ever since the kids came along, I felt it was safer to keep it out of the way. I'm kind of happy that my kids are older now, so it's really possible to keep everything organized. And no worries about bent vinyls or
Yeah,
this turntable.
yeah. So I'm pretty headphone orientated these days. But
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Well, should we talk a bit about individual tracks? I mean,
yeah,
I think if we start at the beginning, because that's the monumental epic that we start with.
Yeah, I really wanted to do kind of different start. I mean, we used to do this kind of album format where there was a really epic long closing song. And I thought, fuck it, we just start with one like that and kind of reverse it a little bit. Of course, we ended up having Your Monster at the end, so we have best of both worlds now.
Yeah.
We start with a massive track and end with a one.
Yeah, and I like that live as well, that we actually start with a monster track,
It's hello, here's your 10 to 15 minute jam.
Yeah, get comfortable, guys,
Take a seat, enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So it's called Sulphur Shackle and Saltpeter, which makes up the gunpowder. And I thought it's a kind of metaphor for warfare and also in the emotional sense. And I kind of mixed a lot of things into it, kind of childhood fears and insecurities, and then kind of more global idea of children being kind of
brainwashed, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Kind of child warfare, terrorism, things like that. How you get into that mind frame where you are ready to do stuff in a very impressionable age, I guess.
Yeah. That's sad.
So kind of, I wanted to do a mini album within the album about the central theme of the kind of thing that I had in mind.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, for me, I kind of probably think it's my favorite from the album. Actually, it's certainly up there.
My favorite kind of changes depending on the mood because there's so many great songs here, and it's just
good. And then next up we have Descent.
Yeah,
I did that.
Probably your most kind of it's almost like depressed song, kind of very heavy and bleak.
Yeah, it is bleak. I mean, it's funny actually. I originally wrote it as an acoustic one, and I remember when we made those demos in Basel, I felt there was a space, like there was a track missing somehow, and I just experimented to see if I could come up with something to fill the void, and
filler.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is filler on the album.
Bloody hell,
yeah, so I bashed it out in 3 minutes, job done.
There's so many good stories about that. It's like we knew we needed something. And I mean, Black Sabbath wrote Paranoid like that. Hey, go to the pub, I'll figure out if there's a riff. Yeah. Or I think Tommy wrote Doom of the World, like took a shit and did it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it came together fairly quickly. I remember that. I had a lot of the riffs kicking around anyway, and it was just a case of sitting down, piecing it together, and the lyrics came very easily too, inspired by, to a degree, myself, but also people we both know well. So the kind of frame of mind they're in, and I think it's quite obvious, really. So, yeah. Bleak.
And so another monster by you, World Encircled.
Yeah. Do you know what? That the music was written.
Isn't it ages old, like really old song?
Yeah, when I lived in London.
Way back.
Yeah, and I think we had even thought of using it in a split that never happened in the end, something like that. So it has been around for a while. And now is the time to unleash it. And I can remember the little. Do you remember when we were at my house writing the lyrics, and you took a picture of me with my head in my hands? Because I was trying to write the lyrics to this one, and that wasn't a posed picture. I was like genuinely really trying to get this out. So got there in the end.
Yeah. I'm really happy about that, and it's a great song. I love playing that riff. The main kind of thing that happens there. It's really good stuff there.
Good live one.
Yeah. What next? Oh, Levitation. Yeah. It's something. I remember the intro was different originally, and it was kind of closer to something else, and we just decided to change it a little bit. I think I just tweaked the riff a little bit, and that's it.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember actually. You played me the demo you made for that in the car when I was driving you back from Zurich Airport when I met you, and honestly, I just couldn't work out what was going on. The rhythm sounded kind of strange,
which is the case many times.
Yeah, and so
it's called progressive weird doodling.
Yeah, and then it took me a while to work it out that it's actually in 6/4, so that explains some of the weirdness I was hearing. And then I think we finally nailed it in that rehearsal room. And yeah, for me, I mean, I think it's an amazing track actually. You know, it's
the kind of middle part there, kind of more gallopy, kind of pentagramish thing.
Yeah,
I think I really like that live as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do it live again. Actually, I mean, I know it's a little tricky, but yeah, it's like a paranoid, isn't it? You know, really, it lives up to its name, Impact. You know, it's
no, it's we're actually talking about two different things. Impact is later. This is Levitation.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm going crazy, but I think the same thing applies. Okay, so Levitation. Okay, yeah, that I remember. Yeah, the riff at the beginning, for me, I remember it sounded too much like it was a Sabbath song, wasn't it? But surprise.
No, none of our stuff really sounds like Sabbath in a way.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Yeah, I've got the songs mixed up, but yeah, the pentagram vibe's definitely there. Yeah, it's
the fast bit.
Yeah, and remind me of the story of that, because it was quite interesting, wasn't it?
It's there's a Finnish band called Kingston Wall.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The main guy ended his life by jumping from the kind of church tower.
Yeah.
And actually, the next song that you wrote, "The Temple in the Bedrock," I wrote the lyric kind of to continue from this to the mythology that he was involved in, which involves this. They were searching for actual temple from Finnish bedrock, so trying to dig it up, and these two things were related with this kind of narrative arc that I wanted to make as a kind of tribute to the. I really like that band, and there's a kind of like, and I visited the place where they are actually where digging. They even got this company to bring like really heavy digging equipment and drills and machinery, and they went in, I think, like 20-30 meters into it. So in the end, they didn't find it, but
it was surprised.
Kind of story about kind of wise old man. We have kind of long line of tradition from the national epic, the Kalevala, the Väinämöinen, and the old wizard, and a few other these kind of long-bearded men telling the truth about universe and everything. And it's kind of idea is to go into this kind of how you shouldn't probably trust everything that they are saying.
Yeah. The prophet is a
lot
fool.
of prophets involved in that story as well, and it's kind of if you go into really weird psychedelic stuff, you might end up doing harmful things to yourself as well. Yeah,
cool, good.
So the Temple in the Bedrock, the next song, which is kind of, we covered the story now, but I absolutely love the riffage on that one. It's probably one of my favorite songs to play live now from the band. Kind of.
It works well live for real.
Yeah. I mean, it's a banger, and then there's a really heavy midsection, and then you kind of kick back into that kind of really good rocking feeling. Love that feeling.
It's great fun.
People seem to love it too. It's always been a good experience for us when we played it.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about playing live, there's 4 albums now. it's so much material to choose from.
Yeah, it's like you want to play certain stuff, and then it's like there are a bunch of songs that you kind of almost like have to play because they are, kind of core of what we are about, and we made a little amount of tweaks in that kind of classic material thing, but still it's like how to pick up the songs that you do live each night. It's of course we also have to make sure we know how to play them.
Well, normally
it makes it a little bit tricky, to practice.
It does. Oh man, it does. But I think normally by the third night of the tour we've got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Then Black Lines, that's a nice collaboration in terms of your music, and then we used a lot of stuff that not a lot of, but the kind of ideas that Chris was improvising to this when we were kind of rehearsing it live.
Yeah.
And so it became a collaborative lyrical effort.
That's right. Yeah. He was kind of just I guess you'd say doing random lyrics, improvising, and then we
lifted some stuff from there.
Yeah, and then kind of formalized it a bit more. Yeah.
And then I guess the Black Lines kind of became a metaphor for depression and almost like kind of gunpowder cocaine thing. So you kind of suck into these nightmares and get into this kind of downwarding spiral in a way. Yeah.
It's again, the music for that one is just something I've had. I think the opening riff was used in the first ever 4-track demo I made when I was about 16. I mean, some of those riffs really go back all that way. And I've just been around, and I just thought, well, it would be nice to get them out there. So,
it's a good place to release them, I think, and they make perfect sense where they are. Yeah. So it's funny about the time how something might travel a long way with you, and then everything just clicks at one.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly. I mean, if there's another example of that, which. It's not from this album, but the previous one, The Gates of Flesh. The instrumental I did, I can't remember what it was called exactly, Shadow of Myself.
Yeah.
That one. That was actually something that was kicking around, like the bass part, from even the times when I was jamming with Rich when we were teenagers.
Oh, that's really lovely. Unfortunately, Rich was not yet with us, but it's great to think that it goes back to that.
It was completely different in those days, but the fundamental bass part was the same. So it's weird how these things, just I don't know, have a new life in a new situation,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, onwards.
Then we have Impact. You call it.
I guess I've been through that already.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, but it's I wanted to do a really like shorter, punchier rocking song that really had this kind of drive in it, kind of raw energy. And the idea was actually so in that one, the weird signature was not a mistake, but I really had that riff like, and I loved it when you kind of got it, and then we started going through. It really fell into place nicely, kind of definitely, really nice way. And obviously then playing it live, I think it would be great to make sure that we can do that as often as possible. It doesn't take a lot of time in the set, but it's a really pleasing song when we nail it.
Exactly, yeah.
Wish we could do the vocal harmonies at the end somehow. But it's a tricky one to play. To play that riff and kind of do the harmony for Chris, that would be a little bit of a challenge for me, actually. But who knows? Maybe one day I get a little bit more of kind of doing different things simultaneously. I mean, I've always kind of thought it's amazing how you can kind of do a very different things with different body parts, and even singing verse exists,
Yeah.
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 But that's something that I'm really pleased about. And we also did a short video for that. I think it's the first one we actually ever kind of did as a kind of not proper, because it's kind of zero budget, but as something that was planned to be a video song.
Yeah. I like the video, you know, it's fun. It's
a tribute for dead people, basically, and kind of idea how people live on as a memory and how they impact the culture.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, because I think you had pictures of, like, I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe and a couple of others. I think.
Carl Aston Smith. A lot of those weird tale writers, Bram Stoker as well, and kind of classic horror writers, if you like. And Mary Shelley was there, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, okay. we should do another video at some point in the future, but yeah, for another day.
It was good fun, I think, and nowadays it's easier to edit that stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the process when you are doing something which kind of adds to the album process somehow.
Yeah.
It's not like it's gonna be shown anywhere, like. But nowadays, when you have YouTube and social media stuff, it makes sense to do something like that.
I just remembered the final scene where I'm doing my little tribute to Bill Ward.
Yeah.
I think
I was just hoping that you would actually finish the part, but I guess Bill didn't.
You know, Bill didn't. You know, that was the thing, and also I did that about 4 a.m. I can remember at that time I was really busy and struggling to find time to do it. So I just thought, all right, I better just get on with it. But the thought of downing a whole pint at that time wasn't going to happen. Yeah. But I think it's more true to the original concept anyway, you know. So.
Yeah, it's a proper tribute now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's Nightmare, my kind of acoustic thing, and I just wanted to have something that takes a little bit of kind of calm between the different parts. I actually love doing these acoustic ballads for Lord Vicar, and I enjoy Chris's kind of more gentle vocal side. He can carry so much emotion in his voice, and in this case we also had a midsection where I was thinking both this kind of King Crimson break. I can't even remember which kind of early King Crimson song that was.
It was I think it was inspired by In the Wake of Poseidon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about Ennio Morricone and his use of choirs. So that's like a tribute for King Crimson and Ennio Morricone in the same midsection.
Yeah, came out great. It's a beautiful song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one, quite bleak one, but it's also I have a very, very kind of big longing for melancholic feelings, how to express those, and I enjoy listening music that has that quality, and I think we kind of captured that side of our spirit in this one. Yeah,
definitely.
And then the concluding monster, A Second Chance.
So
I remember I first suggested you kind of working title, The Phantom Carriage, and I was thinking about that silent film from Sweden. And that kind of started it, but I guess you added stuff there on the process when you wrote the lyrics as well.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I became aware of the film because of you telling me about it, so I watched it, and I think, okay, when it came to writing the lyrics, I was more, it followed the story loosely, but I didn't want to just recount the same story. And I tried more to think about the emotions which were being portrayed in the film, and also B, perhaps the moral story behind it as well. You know, so that was more the direction for lyrics there.
I think the idea of I mean, it's a very classic narrative arc where you are kind of either dying or thinking about dying, and then you get to be shown kind of consequences of your actions and what you could make do differently. Do you have regrets? I think it's kind of an ancient story in a way, that you
Very,
can
yeah, very
retell
much.
in different versions, and
Yeah,
I like it as a kind of, even as a metaphor for our band in a way. Kind of, we are getting older, and then we get the chance to do these things for, you know.
yeah, I think that's true, and you know, it can never really escape the fact that, you know, a lot of these lyrics are inspired, you know, by, I think, you know, people we know who perhaps have faced similar situations as well, and you know, that always comes into it.
Yeah, I
So,
think those layers are stuff that I usually don't talk much about, because I rather, there are a few things I like to leave kind of interpretative freedom for the listener, but also,
of course, yeah,
those stories are kind of, they are kind of very true, but also very painful, and you don't want to hurt
yeah,
other by kind of.
of course. I mean, it's never specifically about an individual. It's more the things one has observed in many people, you know, and you see the same patterns perhaps, you know, manifesting. So, and you know, but I think it's right, yeah, it's not a cool thing to focus too much on, yeah, individuals.
Individual misery.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on universal misery instead.
Well, I have spread the misery. That's what we're about.
I mean, in general, I think there's when you write about dark stuff, there's a lot of cathartic energy there, and people can relate to that, and it works as kind of exorcism, or as a kind of ritual where people can actually feel better after going through some of those emotions. And because I think what we can do with this band is we can actually, and Chris's voice carries emotions, and you can filter them through your own life when you listen to that stuff, and I think that's a gift.
It is a gift. I mean, you know, the thing I always remember is those occasions when we tour and people tell us, you know, the impact it's had on them. You know, it is quite a powerful thing, actually. You know, and I know to some people they may think that, you know, it's just music, it's just doom or whatever. But yeah, it does really profoundly impact some people's lives, and so for me, it is very important.
I think it's kind of because we live it. I have to say that it's like, this band was never about, you know, let's get fast motorbikes and chicks and drugs and rock and roll, but it's like, it's
that's a nice byproduct we get, you know, because that's our lives.
Whatever. But it's like, that's not the main point. I mean, what I mean is that there's certain honesty and authenticity in how we do this, and then it kind of, I feel it in the music, and I think that's really important for me, and that one reason why we exist and continue doing more of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I hope and pray then that this will continue once this COVID madness is behind us and live music becomes a reality again. It will be,
I miss it terribly, actually. It's like, you know, someone took off your arm, and then you are waiting that someone would bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, so many people I know. I mean, if for us, I think it's frustrating, but you know, I know guys who, you know, work in the industry, sound men and venue promoters and things, and it's nightmare for those guys.
It's total nightmare.
Yeah. Oh man, but hey, let's be hopeful.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the album, and I can't wait to get it in my hands on vinyl.
Yeah, exactly. I guess. Well, it's about 10 days, isn't it? Give or take, something like that.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's really concludes all we need to say right now, you know, and we will.
And who was it all the way through here? That you stayed with us this long, and let's hope that you find it worth your while as well. And let's see you on the road when the time comes. Hopefully.
Totally, mate. Well, great to speak to you again. It's been too long. and I can't wait to see you face to face at some point in the not too distant future. So
looking forward, man. So
cool.
much.
Nice. All right. Take care. Bye bye.